Alright, what is going on, guys? We are on the Growling Sidewinder Open Conflict server. Um, Today we are going to be doing a video specifically about what happened between the 8th Virtual Fighter Wing and myself, and what led to me no longer being a part of the wing. A lot of guys this week one day I woke up, had a ton of messages in my DMs asking me what happened. I've come to find out that a few of the members of the leadership collaborated and decided to kick me out of the wing. So we're going to talk about it. Normally I would go up on GS and just fly and fight, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be, I may go in for a couple of attacks, but again, the purpose of this one is not the air-to-air aspect. It's kind of give everybody the lowdown rather than me reaching out to everyone individually. It's kind of, this video is just to kind of give you a lowdown of what happened, and yeah, kind of give the story. All right, so here we go. Let's get out of here. Predominantly, there's going to be three guys I'm going to be talking about throughout this video, which are going to be ultimately the three guys that pretty much led to me just hating my life with the 8th. And those three individuals are going to be Hoss, give me 1 second, Oneup, and Teapot. So when I joined the wing, let's see, where can we go? We're heading to the west. Let's head north. So when I originally joined the wing, the wing was what I liked about the 8th was it was very well structured. It actually resembled a actual fighter wing in the Air Force. And one of the first people I met in the wing was a guy by the name of Hoss, and I knew right away, man, this guy was I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to say a few things, and you're going to probably think that I'm just kind of being a jerk. Two things. One, although I don't usually show it on my videos, I do curse pretty often. And then second, everything that I say about someone, I can back up with facts. So I'm not just trying to say someone's a jackass or is acting like an asshole just to get people to go ooh and all. It's not that. But so let's start off with, again, Hoss, and we'll go down the order: Hoss, Oneup, and then that sad character that calls himself a man by the name of Teapot. So Hoss, when I first met him, one of the first interactions I had with him, I knew right away that I don't know, I'm an experienced, I was both in the Air Force and the Army. I'm an experienced combat vet, so I'd experienced his personality type quite a bit in the military. One of these guys that is real big into not doing too much, but he's into, mingling with people and trying to advance in that manner. He just gave that vibe off to me, just purely based off of the experiences I've had. One of these guys that has no problem, talking crap to people, but when anyone kind of returns the favor, he's overly offended. So with that said, you're going, okay, why is he saying this? When I initially joined the command team, this is give or take about a year. So a year, give or take a month, maybe 2 months. And one day, I don't know what happened, to be quite honest, which was so confusing, but one day he just gets on a command chat and he goes, hey guys, let's take a vote. I want to get Falcon out of the wing. So he puts a little check, meaning you're voting yes, and he puts an X. And then you see all the commanders just slowly checking, hitting the checkbox. Check, 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 check. So I'm sitting here going, what the hell happened to where he wants to get Falcon out of the wing? And one, and then secondly, why is he not even telling us why he wants to get us out of the wing? So I wrote a rebuttal. I wrote a paragraph or so, maybe 2 paragraphs, saying, hey, look, man, Falcon trained me within the wing. He puts together missions pretty much every week. The guy is a huge asset, and what has he done? Pretty much asking, what has he done to where you believe he should be kicked out of the wing? So after putting this down, all the guys who had checked, yeah, let's get them out, check, 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 the green check or what have you in Discord, all of a sudden all those little checks began to disappear, and then guys like Tin Man, Space, etc. started chiming in, going, yeah, why are we kicking? Why are you just randomly want to kick this guy out? At that point, in my eye, Haas was pretty much, I told myself, okay, he's one of these emotional guys that will just kind of act out of emotion, which is not ideal. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't around very much. He still isn't around very much. But I can see very quickly that, again, he has no problem, because back then Falcon used to talk a lot of trash on the wing chat. He has no problem dishing it out, but when somebody kind of returns it, he gets offended very quickly. I think at the time he was complaining about Coffee as well, and that kind of led to Coffee leaving as well as Check. So that's one instance of that. The second issue with Haas came about when, and this is, I want to say, maybe 8 months ago, and this involved, pretty much what happened is, with the instructor pilots within the wing, normally Tin Man and Reaper would have to kind of be the guys to check off who becomes an IP, and normally we talk about you for a little bit, like, hey, anybody have an issue with this guy? I want to put this guy up for instructor pilot. Anybody have an issue with this? Whatever the case may be. At the time, essentially, myself, Falcon, Tin Man, and Reaper were the only guys really doing IP work at that time. Meaning we were pretty much evaluating all of the guys within the wing. So Falcon kind of on his own unilaterally goes, hey guys, I'm looking over Oneup. I've decided to make an IP. So Tin Man's like, dude, no man, what are you doing? You didn't run this across us. You're just making guys IPs. What the hell are you doing? So at this point, Tin Man gets upset. He's going back and forth with Falcon, and again, it's over Oneup because of the fact that usually what happen is Reaper and Tin Man will kind of go over when it comes to being an IP. Okay, this is kind of the standards from the squadron. This is how we evaluate. This is how we look at guys. So it's kind of more of a thorough evaluation and talking to, and a thorough lesson, as opposed to, when you get your 2 and 4 flug. Not to say that that's nothing, but it's a bit more thorough, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And Tin Man was upset he didn't get a call for that, and we hadn't been talking about Oneup. So as we're discussing all this, because he's kind of upset with Falcon, Haas goes, no, Oneup is my guy. He's good to go. Everybody knows he's solid. He's good to go. And Tin Man was like, bro, you don't even do any IP work, one, so don't tell me he's good to go. And then secondly, Tin Man is like, that's not how it works. This ain't the bro code. You need to know your stuff, and only after you know your stuff do we sit there and go, you're good to go. And Oneup hasn't gotten that bit of instruction. So Haas pretty much gets offended and is like, hey dude, I'm the commander. Like I said, I've decided Oneup's going to be an IP, and that's the end of it. Ultimately, that, I believe, I haven't talked to Tin Man about it, ultimately after that, Tin Man was like, yeah, no, I'm out of here, and he left the 8th. So what you're starting to see is kind of a trend where if you're one of Haas's guys, that he'll just kind of back you regardless if you've met qualifications. And again, he's one of these guys that makes kind of what I would call emotional decisions, and guys don't like that. We're used to, normally we'll talk to you about everything, and clearly, Haas, when he's down and out, he's not going to talk to you about it. He's just going to say, okay, I'm the vice wing commander, or whatever he was at that time. So these are the kind of the outline that I've had with Haas. I've never really interacted with him much, never really cared for him much. So that's kind of how I've always seen Haas. With that, I just stay away from the guy. in short. I just sit there and go, I'm not going to worry about you too much, man. So that was kind of my relationship with him. But again, I notice emotional guy makes just poor decisions. And again, I've dealt with this personality type. He just not a worker, just a guy who wants to get ahead by either brown nosing, and he loves people kissing his ass, which is why, again, he was so happy with Oneup. So next up came Oneup, and when I first met Oneup, man, I absolutely enjoyed working with this guy. He's going through some personal stuff that I'm not going to get into as far as medically, and he's keeping me appraised of that, and I was always kind of rooting for him. But again, he becomes an instructor pilot without fully knowing all of the ins and outs of being an instructor pilot. One of the things, so he pretty much, because he was cool with Hoss, he always was joking around with Hoss, he kind of get advanced from what I saw. And this is opinion. He got advanced a bit quicker than he probably should have. And with IP being the icing on the cake, which again led to Tin Man leaving, and then ultimately Reaper as well, shortly right after Tin Man. So Oneup kept coming to me, and this is the issue that I had with Oneup. He kept coming to me going, hey bro, let me back that up. For those of you who don't know, I don't flaunt this much, but I do have, in real life experience in combat. I did fly the H-64. I've got time down range, and again, I'm both a Army and Air Force veteran, so I've been in both branches. I do air traffic control on one side, and again, flew H-64s on the other. And as you guys can see, I'm just flying around here yapping away, which is again the purpose of this video. So Oneup, once or twice would go, hey man, this is how they do it in real life, so this is how we're going to do it. And I wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, nope, and just would keep my mouth shut. But he came to me one day. Let's see if my own bro shoots me down. If he does, who gives a shit? So Oneup, he comes to me one day and he's like, hey, what do you think about us turning off our transponders? Because in real combat environments, that's what they do. So I replied to Oneup and said, hey bro, you need to really stop telling me what's done in real life and just stick to what's done in DCS, because there's two aspects of it. One, he was being wrong, and then he was wrong about a lot of crap. Every time he would come to me, hey, this is why they do it in real life. But the second aspect of that is, like, this stuff is not for general use. Like, we don't talk about transponders and how we use them in combat operations, although every military pilot that flew in combat knows how it's done. That's not something we're supposed to be openly talking about, you know what I'm saying, on DCS realistically, you know what I'm saying? There are occasions where you can turn transponders on and off, but that's something, again, we've been trained. We don't just go blabbing about how we use, our mode 3 and our mode 1, 2, and 4, etc. I've been taught against that, you know what I'm saying? So that's one aspect of it. Again, the second aspect, he was just wrong. So I sent the message to Oneup. I go, hey, look, man, you're my teammate. You got to stop telling me what's done in real life, because I know better. Bro, just stick to DCS. Just stick to knowing the DCS. And I kind of got to give you a backstory to this as well. And I said, hey, I know it looks like I'm sounding like an asshole, but I'm not trying to be. You and I are teammates, and your credibility, you're hurting your credibility with me every time you do this, because I know better. So he didn't take it very well. He pretty much blew up and said, yeah, you're being an asshole. I won't come to you anymore. At the time, he was a part of the 501st Aggressors. He was like, I'm quitting the team. I'm like, what type of man immediately just conducts himself like that, just immediately quits his team? And here's the truth. It was all true. Everything I was saying was true. Dude, you're wrong. Just stop. So, yeah, he got his panties in a bunch. And, but, yeah, he said, hey, dude, yeah, you are being an asshole and this and that. And I was like, that was, for me, with Oneup, that was the second time he got out of pocket with me. The first time was when we were in command chat. Check had just got back to the wing after I don't know how many months. and Oneup just by himself just checked the box and rather went up to him after getting put into 122nd. He just unilaterally changes him to the 100th. And I go, dude, is this how we're doing stuff? And he explodes. He fucking messages, okay, tyrant, you're trying to be, you know, trying to start an argument and this and that. And I just asked the question. And I was like, what's up with this dude? Well, what was up with him is, once again, Hoss being the poor decision maker was, he had just got put into decisions. He didn't know that you don't just switch people around. Why? Because he didn't have any experience. And when he saw me going, dude, this is not how we do stuff, he blows up. Oh, Jesus Christ, tyrant, this is not how we do stuff. So this is the second time, again, he's called me, he's kind of flexed to me. And I was like, nah, bro, that's not happening. I'm not accepting that twice. So I went back at Oneup, and I was like, bro, you don't, since you want to be an asshole to me, you know what I mean, you're acting like a fucking pansy right now. This is after I told him, hey, just stick to the DCS stuff. I was like, dude, like, talk to me when you're out of your emotions. And he didn't like that very well, but fuck, I didn't like being called an asshole very well. The odd part is I ran this by Falcon, I ran this by Stingray. Stingray was fucking panicked. You're like, well, you're not a real colonel, you're not a real commander. But anyways, so yeah, that kind of was a fallout between Oneup and I. And then from there, you know, he was notifying people, yeah, the 122nd is going to be short a guy. And I was like, shit, I didn't know that. So he started scheming right away to get rid of me. So all good. That's kind of the story, the backdraft between Oneup and I. I'm not mad at the guy, but he conducted himself like a candy ass, if I'm going to be straight up, man. And those are the facts. None of that is twisted. None of that story is twisted. He conducted himself like a candy ass. You know what I'm saying? No one's, even if you are some type of commander, no one's above criticism. No one's above being told, dude, you're lying, you're making shit up, stop doing it. I know better. You know what I'm saying? If you get offended about something like that, then you really need to look at yourself. And last up is going to be the definition of a candy ass, and that's going to be, what's this guy's name? George or Teapot, whatever the guy's name is. This guy was a pain in the ass from day one. All right. Where to start? Okay, so first and foremost, again, Hoss being a retard. We had a bunch of guys. So normally you progress. You go from wingman to two-ship lead to four-ship lead to IP to XO to commander. You know, Oneup and Teapot don't get this path because, again, you rub on Hoss's balls enough and we'll just skip you all the way up the scale. So Teapot essentially was brown-nosing Hoss and pretty much everybody, realistically. So when the F-18 squadron came about, and again, after the BS with 10 men and Hoss, Reaper steps down. Now we're sitting there going, okay, we need an F-18 commander. Hoss just immediately goes, yeah, we're going to put Teapot in there. And I'm like, hold on, bro. Teapot's a wingman. What are you doing? Like, and he's like, he pretty much just ignored it. And for anyone who, I imagine Falcon will look at this, and maybe Stingray, look at the command chat and the command discussion. So that was the first, that was another time where I was going, this dude is just an idiot and just makes impulse decisions, right? So he puts Teapot in as the XO. Teapot immediately starts going, hey man, I want to start making missions, or I want to start doing missions for the wing. So I'm like, I really don't care. Falcon pretty much was the guy for that. So I'm like, I really don't care. You know, it's not a big deal. He's messaging me for some reason. And Falcon is immediately messaging me going, dude, this guy is the biggest pain in the fucking ass. I'm trying to tell him how to do stuff, and he does not want to listen. And I'm kind of sitting there going, well, you know, tell him don't do the missions anymore. And it just would not stop. So one day we're doing a mission. At the time, Falcon had invited the guys from the Virtual Air Force, the VAF guys, Blooders, Red Bear, whatever the guy's name is. If I'm butchering those names, apologies, gents. But this is like Teapot's first mission as the commander. He's gone from wingman to F-18 commander. And he gets pretty much in a merge with the MiG-21. He gets shot down, which, who cares? It happens. to everyone. But rather than taking it like a man, Teapot runs and goes crying. So we all line up in VC within the 8th, and when you die, you pretty much go down to like a dead channel, which is where all the guys who die will talk. So he went down there and starts crying to everyone. Yeah, the VAF guys suck. Blooders and Red Bears suck. They shot me down, etc., etc. And then when we debrief, not only is he telling everyone that happened, for the guys who died in the mission, but as we're debriefing, he's blaming his shoot down on these guys. He's saying, hey, you shot me down. I didn't even get killed by an enemy. Well, come to find out, while we watch Tag View, he did get shot down by the freaking MiG-21. And he's complaining the whole time, yeah, they weren't communicating on comms. Fortunately, I record everything, so I go watch it back, and yeah, they were communicating on comms. They were. It happens, guys. You know what I'm saying? But what we don't do is go blame everyone else for our fuck-ups. And that's immediately what he did. So he goes and complains to Oneup, who in turn complains to Hoss, and I think late at the time. And they're going, yeah, they're just not up to our standards. Rather than looking at Tag View and looking at the recordings, they immediately just go, yeah, they're not up to the 8th standards. And they start talking trash to these guys. So they end up going, yeah, man, well, fuck it. We don't got to be here with you. So the next day, after I look at Tag View, I go, bro, this dude is wrong. They didn't shoot him down. And then I look at the video, and the guys are communicating on our fires net, going, yeah, we're not comfortable taking a shot, but we're going to take it anyway. And they hit the MiG. The thing was, right before the MiG dies, the MiG fired a Fox 2, and it hits them. So regardless, I go to Oneup and I go, bro, let's take a look at the tape. And we're going through the tape, and I'm showing this, and it became very apparent he's one of these guys that just did not want to take accountability. He did not want to say, yeah, I messed that up. We're showing him Tag View. I'm going over the recordings, and all he's doing is giving excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. So I'm like, okay, this dude, Falcon's already been complaining about him, but I'm like, yeah, this dude is a problem. So I'm like, okay, this guy may be a bit of a problem. So finally, after 30, 40 minutes of talking to this jackass, he's finally like, well, I go, look, man, we can't do that. You've embarrassed the wing, and now we look real bad because we've jumped to a conclusion about the VAF guys that just was not true, per what Tag View is showing you. So we get done with that conversation. Falcon is messaging me every day, every other day, and he knows this is true. Going, dude, this guy is a jackass. He is not listening to any of the inputs I'm giving out. So every day he's complaining to me about this guy. So again, Teapot goes, I want to work with Falcon to do these missions, but when it comes to any input Falcon has given him, he's just blown it off. Again, the guy who's gone from the wingman to now the commander for the 143rd. So after, I don't know, man, it had to be anywhere between 2 weeks to 5 weeks of this crap, just getting messaged every other day. I finally sit down with both Falcon and Oneup and go, hey, look, man, you guys need to work this out. You guys are both, very important members of the team. Work this out. I asked the guys if you guys think I'm BSing, and I think pretty much after that, so I was pretty much acting like a, I don't know, what do you call the guys that kind of work out the differences between parties? I was kind of acting like that, and ultimately they got it worked out, but it was a foreshadowing of Teapot and his personality. He just does not want to be wrong. He knows everything. You cannot tell him shit. He's very much so passive aggressive, and even when it's just blatantly wrong, obviously he's wrong, he will not admit to it. So he put, let's go to another story, right? And this is one that messed up the 8th's relationship with Reaper. I guess Attila said something to Teapot, and Teapot went to Reaper for help. He said, hey man, can you help me talk, because Attila's been in the unit for a minute. So Reaper goes to Attila, starts talking to Attila. Late finds out about it, and then gets upset with Reaper for talking to Attila, because at the time Reaper's no longer in the command he's not in a command role, and Lake gets mad at Reaper, but rather than Teapot going, hey bro, I asked Reaper to talk to Attila, this motherfucker doesn't say shit, and shit hits the fan between Reaper and it's pretty much Haas, the entire command team, and the rest of us are trying to figure this out, like, hey, what the fuck is going on? What has happened? And at this time, rather than being a man and being accountable and go, hey, look, guys, I asked Reaper to step up and talk to Attila, this little fucking weasel sits there and goes, let me get the hell out of here. All right, so I'm getting kind of close to these guys. I might actually have a missile incoming. This little weasel sits there and goes, hey, guys, we should just let it go. We're a team now. We shouldn't be arguing. Does kind of one of these moves. And ultimately, Reaper leaves the 8th for quite a while, actually. So the dude's character is just that of a passive-aggressive, very just not an honorable man. Let's just put it that way. Just not an honorable man. Every time I've talked to him, I've tried to tell him, look, man, don't conduct yourself like that. Just be a man about shit. And again, accountability, to me, accountability is just, there's nothing, we all make mistakes. There's nothing wrong to go, hey, look, bro, I messed that up. He just will not do it. That is just not in it for Teapot. So these are just a few of the stories I have about the guys. At the end, ultimately, I blocked Teapot. I said, hey, dude, I can't deal with this. Because, no, the last thing that it was, Teapot hits me up, goes, hey, look, man, I want to change some stuff on your PDF or your Outlook program. I want to change a few things, but you'll never see it. I go back like a couple of days later, and he's like the first 2 or 3 lines, he's changed all this crap. So I go, bro, I thought you said it's not going to see it. And he goes, I helped you, so what does it matter? So I go, okay, that's it, man. That's the end of the line with me with this dude. So I block him, and he loses it. I'm a commander. You can't be blocking me. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you're a commander or not, dude. Like, you're not a colonel. You're not getting paid as a colonel. We're just dudes just fucking trying to put together a wing and have some fun with this thing. So after that, I'm pretty sure the guys had a meeting that I missed, I think maybe a week or 2 ago, and I'm pretty sure that's where they collaborated and were like, hey, man, we need to get Tyrant up out of there, which is fine, because, again, I was essentially, and I have to kind of apologize at this point with the 122nd guys, and you guys can see in the videos, I was the only one holding them to, do all these different things as far as requirements for both the wing as well as the squadron. These guys were just just no structure to anything, so it's all good, man. The short of it is, Haas sent me a letter saying, hey, look, dude, we're parting ways with you. You can still run the 501st. By the time you guys are getting this, I'm pretty sure I'll put this out already, but yeah, I'm not working with these guys at all, so I'm done with them. So the 501st, as far as I'm concerned, is being disbanded. And let's see. Yeah, just a lot of dumb stuff from some men who just chose not to conduct themselves like men. Like, Onup's a fucking warrant officer for the Marines. Good luck working for someone like that, man. He will be a fucking yeah, not someone you want to work for. Let's just put it that way. If they can't value your input and also criticize you, then yeah, you're just like the rest of these fucking retarded military officers that we have. And there's plenty of them. For the E guys, you guys know what I'm talking about. And as an officer, as a warrant myself, I'm going to tell you there are plenty of retards in both the commission and warrant officer ranks. So he's just one of them. Haas, again, just an emotional man who just makes poor decisions. I knew he was a rat, a little weasel, emotional man from the get-go, so I always kept my distance. So I don't have too much to say about it, but Oneup was, out of all of them, I always knew fucking Teapot was a little fucking snake. Like, pretty much after that VAF incident, I knew he was a snake. The biggest surprise out of all of them was Oneup, because I thought he was a solid dude, man. I thought he really was, but once Late stepped down and he got put in this quote-unquote vice wing commander position, he straight turned into a douchebag. and he knows he did. So fuck him. There was a time, and I know what you guys are wondering too, like, oh man, you're burning bridges. There was a time that I'd be the guy who was just like, yeah, I'm not going to say nothing and hope things get resolved. Nah, fuck that. Everything I am saying is true, and I can back up every last detail of it. So if any of these guys are saying it's not true, they're full of shit. And the guys that know me, I'm a lot of things. I can be direct, I can be blunt. You want to call me an asshole, I'm even okay with that, but I'm not a fucking liar. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, unfortunately, the 501st are about to go. I don't recommend you guys becoming a part of joining up with these idiots, but you know, if you want a mission, and sure be it. The missions were sucking this last month anyway, so that's why I wasn't really too gung-ho with being a part of the missions that were put out. And that's me objectively saying that they were sucking. Just wasn't fun, for me at least. Actually, that's subjectively saying that, so I'll just put it that way. Lesson learned here, I should have left the wing when 10 Man and Reaper were on their way out. I should have just stuck to my convictions and my morals and said, yeah, nah, this ain't right. Let me get out of here with these guys. That's what I should have done. So this will be something I take with me going forward, and it'll be lessons learned moving on. So with that said, I think that's about the gist of the story. I don't know. I've been flying around just yapping my gums. Hopefully that clears it up for everyone, because again, a lot of guys have been messaging me, and that's been the point of this whole video. Just let you know what the real deal was. For the guys that I haven't responded to, Maul, Jason, a couple of other guys, I don't feel like putting out the story a million times. So hopefully you watch this video and you get it. Not to be rude or disrespectful to any of you guys, but I'm just tired of it and ready to move on. Hope you guys, I guess the video is something you won't be enjoying, but I hope you guys got a little information out of that, and that kind of satisfied your curiosity. If you have any other questions, just hit me up. If anyone says I'm full of crap or what have you, let me know. I got no problem pulling out receipts. That's the beauty of being able to screenshot different messages or whatnot. Falcon, if you think I'm BSing about them trying to kick you out, look at the old command discussion. Just scroll it on back. Ask Reaper, ask 10 Man, ask any of these guys about any of this stuff, and they'll tell you I'm being straight up with it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully, again, this answers any questions you may have, and I'll see you for the next one.